eSIM Studios YouTube and mobile app. The eSIM Studios YouTube channel offers the very best technology news and reviews with in-depth coverage found nowhere else. Hosted by founder and creator, Taylor Bell. He's a really good dude, college educated, and worked inside the industry. He knows what he is talking about. The eSIM Studios mobile app is an experience unlike any other tech app, with an easy-to-use interface view, late-breaking tech news from all over the industry, and so much more. The samstudios.app also includes the unlocker. Learn to unlock phones from the professionals for free. The clean and intuitive layout, finding breaking news articles and deals in tech has never been easier. Watch and listen to the eSIM Studios YouTube channel and podcast from within the app. Additional features include easy Gcam download and installation, the Android Flash tool, and sign up for our weekly giveaway drawing. Download the eSIM Studios mobile app at simstudios.app and find us on YouTube by simply searching eSIM Studios.
I just need my space right now.
Fresh off the G5 jet, I'm on my way to a brand new kit.
Welcome back, eSIM Studios podcast, live stream, episode number 123. I want to thank everybody for tuning in for today's episode. Man, we got a lot of news today. I'm going to try to get through it quick, as quick as possible, right? So I didn't really know what to expect and or what to talk about this morning, and as the day unfolded, wow, we got a lot going on. So no iPhone, no Apple news today. I think I'll save that for tomorrow. But we have a lot of Android news. Right? First and foremost, if you perhaps missed this episode or you tune in midway through and you want to catch the whole thing, you can always hit the replay. All podcast episodes are replayable on our YouTube channel, eSIM Studios YouTube channel. Or if you want to take us on the go wherever you are headed, or simply doing chores around the house, right? That's what I do sometimes. We are on every single podcast application platform. So eSIM Studios, simply search us on Apple Podcasts, will pop up, right? YouTube Music, we're there. Amazon Music, we're there. iHeartRadio app, we are there. Even the famous podcast application Pocket Casts, we're on there as well. So simply search eSIM Studios, and we're on most. Look, you can search eSIM Studios on, if you just want to find our content, get on Google and search eSIM Studios. Everything will pop up. Good way to find us too. So before we get started, I want to let you know that this episode, this podcast, this channel is sponsored by Ifani. Ifani is America's most secure mobile network, and we got a special promo code with them. If you enter eSIM Studios as your promo code, again, promo code eSIM Studios, you get $99 off. That is your discount code to get $99 off of the next payment on the Ifani Safe Plan. So what is Ifani? Ifani is they're a cybersecurity focused mobile security mobile service provider. Excuse me, Lord have mercy. I'm thinking of something while I'm talking about Ifani. I need to focus on Ifani, right? So they protect anybody from the average person up to CEOs, right? Politicians. They have tons of high roller clients, and they have tons of regular people like you and me that simply want the most safe, most secure mobile provider service, right? Cell phone service. They are so confident in their service that if you get hacked, if you get SIM swapped, they provide you with a $5 million insurance policy. That's how confident they are in their services, right? Never has a customer been hacked and or SIM swapped. So check out Ifani. Links in the description box below. Not going to want to miss out on what they're offering, right? Even if it's just to check out the fine details of how they offer it, why they offer it, the story behind the company. Very interesting. So ifani.com/eSIM Studios or promo code eSIM Studios. Either way, links in the description. Check them out. So we got an update. We have the Nothing Phone 2. Nothing OS 2.5.6. Now, this was released a couple of days ago. And actually, I don't believe that we spoke about it. We had actually been pretty heavy in entrenched in a bunch of different news this week, so I don't think I got to it. But literally, right as I was about to sit down and hit go live on StreamYard here, I got notified, hey, you have a software update on your phone too. We'll say, what? So I was like, you know what? Let me bump this into news story number 1. Now, I know a lot of our most of our subscribers, we're Android heavy. We cover all mobile technology, consumer electronics. However, we specifically, focus on mobile technology, i.e., for example, cell phones, right? And if you want to get even more specific, a lot of that time is spent on Android devices. I know most of our subscribers are Pixel owners, right? So if all 90,000, whatever we have, subscribers were polled and said, what cell phone do you have? Or for those that have multiple cell phones, what's your main cell phone? Or I take it back. I think even if people had multiple cell phones, how many of y'all have a Google Pixel? I think that would encompass a large majority of our users, right? Next up would be Samsung. And I believe the third is nothing, quite honestly. We have, if you look at our analytics, a lot of our viewers, subscribers are in India. Nothing is very big in India, much more so than even here in the United States. They have much bigger presence in India. So does OnePlus. They focus on that market. The Nothing Phone 2A, one of the highest selling phones over in India, and the Phone 2 is certainly a very, very popular device. So I know this will be of interest to many of our viewers, right? So I just downloaded the update. Actually, you know what? I have a whole nother camera. I was recording something else. Check this out. There we go. Sorry. So here is the update, right? So let's see what this entails. And I'll restart it. So, and then, actually, you know what? Screw that. I'll do it easier so everybody can see. So I'm going to simply restart that. I just downloaded it, right? So let's get into this. There we go. So here's the change log. If you have a Nothing Phone 2, it is updated now to Nothing OS 2.5.6. Now, I guess it was released, 6 days ago. But as you know, most of these companies, if not all, roll them out over time. They don't push the update out to every single device because and you know why they do that? Because every now and then, maybe once every couple of years, you'll get an update that has a major issue where Apple, Samsung, Google really needs to push out another update ASAP or they'll pull the bad update and they'll push out a new one, right? So that's why they roll it out over time, over about a week's time, 5, 6, 7 days. They'll gradually roll it out. They'll push it to 100,000 devices, and then another 100,000, and then another 100,000. If you're Nothing, if you're Samsung, you would do 1 million devices one day, another 1 million devices the next day, another 1 million, and they do it gradually, and they keep their eye on the forums, on YouTube. If there's any major issue that they notice online that many users are saying that they're having, they'll pull the update, or they'll go and test it and then pull the update and reissue another one. So that's why they gradually release them, right? So the device restarted, but let's look over the change log and see what our new Nothing OS has in store for us, right? Where's my mouse? There we go. Okay. So, what is new in this update? So, the new features, so there's a new option in settings to hide and or show the navigation bar. Very cool. Added a custom option for enabling disabling the quick settings swipe down page on the lock screen interface. Accessed via settings, lock screen, and then quick settings. There's also a new option for customizing icons within the status bar. How cool is that? Accessed via settings, display, status bar. Also, you are updated to the latest Google June security patch. Improvements. What did this Nothing OS 2.5.6 improve upon? New quick settings widget, animations for enhanced engagement, right? Optimized compatibility with some carrier networks. That's good. Enhanced UI of carrier names. Bug fixes. They resolved an issue where cloned apps were unable to use a VPN network. Refined ChatGPT integration. Fixed an issue where lock screen widgets did not display in some cases. Fixed an issue where back gesture sometimes lacked vibration feedback, and then optimized the overall stability of the system. Sorry, I got an emergency text here. Okay, so that is available for users to download and install. Now, since I literally just put this on my phone, I'm going to start using it. And then I will probably make a video tomorrow with my experiences with this device. Looks really cool. I cannot wait to get this going. So just real quick. Settings, display, status bar. So I want to see settings, display, status bar. Oh, wow. Yo, this is so cool. Okay, I'm gonna get distracted. This looks like too much fun. So I'm gonna start using this, and I'll make a video tomorrow. So if you do have a Nothing Phone 2 or you're interested in the Phone 2, by the way, before we get off of here, it's on sale. Yes, this Nothing Phone 2 is on sale now. I encourage everybody to go out and get it. If you're in the market for a new phone, and let's say you don't want to spend $1,200, $1,300 on a S24 Ultra, or even $1,000 on the S24 Plus, right? What's the next best thing? Well, a little bit under that price-wise is the Nothing Phone 12, which is on sale for $799 right now at OnePlus.com. Or you can go one step down, but you're not really stepping down. Well, you're stepping down in price, but user experience, overall usability, quality of a device, that's where Nothing Phone 2 comes in. So this Nothing Phone 2 is on sale right now for $549. That is badass. Now, if you say, well, it's been out a year. Okay, so it's still an awesome phone. Looks beautiful. Performs. I cannot tell you how fast this is, how smooth it is, how customizable this is. It's almost like a phone with a custom ROM. Do you remember back in the day, XDA developer days? I used to be a flashaholic. This almost reminds me of a custom ROM. Now, OnePlus kind of has that same feel on theirs, but it's more commercialized, I guess you could say. Nothing. They're now. It doesn't feel like it. When I say custom ROM, first thing you think of is bugs and glitchy. No. This thing is as smooth as butter. It looks beautiful, and it performs beautiful. And don't get it twisted. This Snapdragon 8 Gen Plus 1, that's the CPU that's in here. It is still. Oh, put this in perspective. You know how fast this phone is and good performing it is? This beats my Pixel 8 Pro in every benchmark test. I just did that last week again. I look up because my Pixel 8 Pro is the overhead camera. This Nothing Phone 2 beats Google's flagship phone in every performance test. So don't this is no slouch. And remember, Nothing has said they're gonna wait and put out their phone 3 till next year. So if you were holding out for the Nothing Phone 3 to buy one, get this, you will not be disappointed. And then when they look, I don't know if Nothing's gonna wait a whole another year to bring out the Nothing Phone 3. This was released in July of 2023, so we're coming up on 11 months. How long are they gonna wait for the? If you're just waiting for the Nothing Phone 3, you might be sitting around for another whole year. Why do that? Just go ahead and get this phone. Where is it? Let's see. I wanted to show you. Let's see. Where we at? Here we go. Watch this. Nothing Phone 2. Right here on their website. Yes, if you're in the United States, you are available to purchase. Look at this. They slashed the price from $700 brand new. I got mine for $748, I think, with taxes out the door. Or that's how much it would have been. Anyways, whatever. I've got so many phones, I think I got it mixed up. Anyways, on sale, $549. Now, this is for the 12 gig of RAM, 256 gig storage variant. You have the option. Look, this is for they also have the white for sale too, right? You can get it up to 12 gigs, 512 gigs of storage on sale for $649. I think mine's the 12 256, and that is on sale for $549. Now, I saw an 8 gig here. Maybe you can get it cheaper. Ooh, what do you know? You can get the 8. Now, I wouldn't look, if you want to get it, that's up to you. But I don't use phones that have less than 8 gigs of RAM. But if you just absolutely wanted to get the cheapest possible phone 2, they do not have the 8 gig version in white. The only 8 gig of RAM version they have in the phone 2 is in the dark gray model, but you can get that for $499. But I recommend the white, just like I got. White 12 gig 256 storage, $549. That is a fantastic buy. I can promise you that. You're going to love this phone. Absolutely phenomenal. Just using it today, like, god damn, this is such a nice phone. Whew. Okay. Enough of that. And I'll link that in the description so you don't have to go searching like I just did if you want to buy the phone too. I don't get any kickbacks. I don't have any affiliate links with nothing. It's just, I'm just providing a good phone at a good price, right? Okay, so check this out. Daniel, what's going on, brother? We got some CMF watch news here coming up shortly. I got about 20 minutes left, so give me a second. Okay. So, Samsung. As time goes on, look, we're still 6 months away from the launch of the S25 series, but as you know, slowly but surely, every few weeks you get a new leak of certain specs that come out on Samsung's new model, or with, I guess, technically every phone that is approaching launch. We get leaks, and basically when the phone gets launched, we typically know what the specs and all that stuff it's going to have in it. We found out today, and now these come out because they actually sign deals and agreements with suppliers, right? So that's how this news today, where there is no major camera upgrade tipped for the S25 and S25 Plus, right? The Ultra is set aside. We're talking about the S25, S25 Plus. No camera upgrades, meaning the cameras that's in the S24 and S24 Plus are going to be the cameras that's in the S25 and S25 Plus. Now, How do we get that news? Well, typically around this time, as I mentioned yesterday, the life cycle of a device and how time frame of when these get launched. Right now, because Samsung's 6 months away, 6 or 7 months away from launching the S25. Right now, literally right now, on June 19th, is when Samsung is signing agreements, making deals with suppliers for parts that are going to go inside of these devices. And that's how a lot of these leaks get out, right? Through the suppliers. A lot of the phone leaks of what the device actually looks like, guess what? Are leaked by the case manufacturers or somebody working in, I don't know, Spigen or typically it's not Spigen, because they're probably one of the well-known cases and would get case companies and would get in trouble. It's typically the lesser-known case companies. The more well-known brands don't want to risk that ruining that relationship because they would get in trouble. Samsung call them, hey, or Google, like with all these Pixel 9 photos that have been leaking out. I guarantee you one of them was from a case manufacturer, from somebody that works inside the building. Take a quick couple snapshots of the Pixel, save it, and then put it up for sale because that's how it works. And then a tipster will buy them or something. They DM who's a real Ice Universe or whatever on Twitter. Anyways, blah blah blah. So it's gonna have the same camera setup. So Samsung may reuse its aging 50 megapixel camera on this S25, right? So the base and plus models of Samsung's flagship smartphones have featured a 50 megapixel primary rear camera sensor since 2022. However, while the Galaxy S22 and Galaxy S22 Plus use the ISOCELL GN5 sensor, the company switched to the ISOCELL GN3 in 2023. This year's model also uses the latter, the ISOCELL GN3. It's unclear if the S25 lineup will keep the same sensor or get a new one, but a resolution upgrade does not appear to be on schedule. So, good news and bad news. It depends on how you want to look at it. I like to look at it as, look, at first thought, right? Literally at first thought, when you see this headline, you're like, damn, now you're not going to get a camera upgrade? But then, my second thought was, well, you know what? That's not such a bad thing. I always bring this up. Pixel, right? They use that 12 megapixel sensor for years. Ever since, did they put it in any of the Nexus devices? I don't think so. Anyways, from the OG Pixel all the way up to the Pixel 5, I believe. 12 of fame. It'll probably go down in camera sensor Hall of Fame, if there is a camera sensor Hall of Fame. Maybe number one on the list, right? So Google famous in my book, used a 12 megapixel sensor, Sony sensor. I don't know if it was I don't know what model number it was, but hear me out. This is not a bad thing if you're interested in the S25 series. This is not necessarily a bad thing. And for example, Google used this 12 megapixel sensor for roughly 5 years, for 5 models, right? Over and over and over. Every single year, photo quality got better and better and better, right? So how is that possible? Well, it has to do with how the phone, how the processor, the CPU, and how the photo that is snapped, how it's processed, right? Post-processing imagery. So basically that same sensor can get better and better over time by the sheer fact that Google and or now Samsung can finely tweak that sensor ever so slightly every year, even throughout the life of the device. With every update, they'll improve it. So Google literally squeezed every ounce of juice out of that 12 megapixel sensor, and it performed awesome. That's what got Google Pixel probably most well known for being one of the better smartphones with a camera, right? I was listening to a YouTube live stream that was not about technology yesterday, and somebody said, "Oh, I have an Android." They were dogging this person about having an Android, and happens all the time. So and the person said, "Well, I have a Pixel, but I also have an iPhone." And the other person was saying, "Oh, yeah, the Pixel. They're known for their taking good videos or cameras, right?" And the other person that had the Pixel was like, "Yeah, it takes awesome photos." There you go. Just a random conversation on a random YouTube channel, not about technology. The third person there said, "Oh, you have a Pixel? Aren't those known for taking good photos?" Well, that 12 megapixel sensor that Google used for year after year got Google this reputation of the Pixel, this reputation of taking good photos. So, long story short, not bad news here. Samsung, I'm sure, will tweak this sensor, but also here's another point. So if Samsung moved to a new sensor, let's say they put in a 64 megapixel, I don't know, whatever, Sony IMX 8-9, well, what have you, it doesn't matter. Let's say they move to a brand new sensor, right? You could look at it, maybe that's not so good news right off of the bat, right? Because they're not used to this sensor. They don't know how it performs. Now, of course, they do testing before they're going to release the phone with a new sensor in it. But I wouldn't have a lot of confidence in that sensor until maybe year 2, year 3, right? Probably year 2. Now, it should take phenomenal photos. It has better hardware, right? But remember, they don't just throw a sensor in a phone. You have to tweak it. There's a lot of testing that goes on, and they might not have just the perfect setup with a brand new sensor. It may take them 4 months of tweaking. It may take them 6 months of tweaking. Hell, it might even take them a year or 2 years. Again, Google, 5 years. So I don't really necessarily see this as bad news. Again, in the new processor, will process images even better, right? So you'll see a slight improvements, I think, on the S25 compared to the S24. Not major improvements, slight improvements, right? Again, tweaking. So we got this information. So let's see. That's all that was in there, wasn't it? What about the S25? The next S25 Ultra will reportedly feature a 50 megapixel ultra wide lens instead of the 12 megapixel and 50 megapixel 3x zoom camera instead of the 10 megapixel. So the S25 will get a sensor upgrade. Again, the S25 Ultra has a the S24 Ultra, the one I have here, has a 12 megapixel ultra wide sensor. The S25 Ultra is getting a 50 megapixel ultra wide sensor. The S24 that I have ultra right here has a 10 megapixel 3x zoom camera sensor on it. The S25 Ultra, next year's model, is going to get a 50 megapixel 3x zoom camera sensor. So it looks like the Ultra will be upgraded. Looks like the base and the Plus will not. Interesting set of events and decisions, but look, they know better than we do. So before you go out and blast them for making bad decisions, oh, it's gonna suck, oh, it's gonna do this, gonna do that, let's just wait and see, right? Nobody knows until we get them in hand, until we get a few updates. So I have confidence in saying they know what they're doing. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, right? Again, we'll just have to wait and see. Again, we're 7 months away from the launch, so are they keeping the 200 megapixel sensor on the Ultra? Let's find out. Yes, S25 Ultra is keeping the 200 megapixel main sensor, and its 50 megapixel 5x zoom camera will remain the same as well. So slight adjustments for the S25 Ultra. No adjustments camera-wise for the S25 and S25 Plus. So, let's see here. Speaking of Samsung, One UI 7.0 is a future operating system that Samsung was getting ready to push to its devices. And I believe 7.0, One UI 7.0 was Android 15. I believe so. Got a little change of plans here. So Samsung's not going to release 7.0 just quite yet. They're going to push it back. They're going to delay it a little bit. And instead, they're going to push Samsung UI 6.1.1. Currently on the S24 devices, we have One UI 6.1, right? And it looks like instead of pushing 7.0, they're going to push 6.1.1. Now, why are they doing that? Well, number of reasons. And I believe the number one reason is AI. AI always creeping up. AI always creeping up on us. The scope of this update is too big, like, for Samsung to quickly put together and move on to Android 15, which is One UI 7.0, and to ensure a bug-free release of Android 15 and One UI 7.0, you want to give it a little bit more time, and I encourage that. Nobody wants a buggy update, a buggy software experience. If you're not on the beta build, if you're on the stable build, that's the last thing you want. At least if you're on the beta build side, you kind of expect a bug or two here and there. Normal people do not want bugs, period. So that's totally fine. Look, if you need to wait a little longer, I'd rather them iron out all the bugs, all the kinks, and push Android 15, One UI 7.0 whenever they're ready. No big. As long as I get the monthly security updates, I'm satisfied with that. And of course, yes, I want a software update, but they're working on it, right? Again, they're working on it. I don't want any issues with the main phone, right? So I don't know when it has been scheduled for release. Let's see. So One UI 6.1.1 is going to hit the S24 series in August, right? That's when Android 15 One UI 7.0 was expected, right around then or a little bit later in the year. I think this will be delayed a few months, right? Now, again, in this report, there has been no scheduled time to launch One UI 7.0, but that would be the next in line, basically, software update, unless Samsung was going to do a 6.1.2. But it sounds like there's just a few minor things they need to iron out, because if they were scheduled to release it, then it sounds like it was pretty close, right? But probably just working on a few extra little bugs, little kinks they need to iron out. That's totally fine. Samsung, do your thing. We'll sit back with One UI 6.1.1 and be ready for One UI 7.0 whenever you are. So be on the lookout for that. Mid-August. It'll bring a number of features, right? And some of the features, it looks like we got a little quick idea. So let's see. Last week, IC Universe, the tipster, the leaker I was telling you about, who's famous on Twitter, revealed that One UI 6.1.1 on the Galaxy Z Fold 6 will introduce a sketch to drawing AI feature. It reportedly works similarly to Apple's Image Wand, arriving with iPad OS 18 later this year. But Samsung's going to have a device that's going to be released faster, right, than Apple with this feature. You can convert sketches into proper drawings with text prompts. Interesting. The same source now revealed that One UI 6.1.1 will put Samsung's S Pen to good use, right? With various AI writing tools, your S Pen will finally play an important role. I use mine every day. It will become a tool for your imagination, the tipster said on X. Their words suggest Samsung will introduce several AI-powered drawing and editing features where the S Pen could be of great use. It'll also improve system animations, making them more smooth and vivid. Let's see. Is that it? Now that's not all of the features and/or AI functions that One UI 7.0 is going to bring, but that's just one of them, right? Let's see what this sketch feature is all about. Here we go. So here's an example. What is it? Samsung Notes. Wait, did it draw that? Oh, wow. So they wrote down the notes right here. And then Galaxy AI, or whatever you want to call it, came up with an image like this, right? So it'll basically bring your notes or your images to life. Oh, I see they sketched that. And then after it processes it, it'll generate an image for you. That's cool. Okay. Whatever. Moving on. More Samsung news. So we now have a spec sheet for the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 and Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6, which is set to be released on July 10th, 2024, here in about 3 weeks, just before the Olympics get started. And make sure you subscribe to the eSIM Studios YouTube channel. We're going to live stream after that Samsung unboxing. But not only did we get the spec sheet that's been out for about a week or so, we also got new information. So these devices, these foldables, right? So we got the hardware. We know it's the processor, the RAM, the storage, the camera, the battery. We know all that stuff. However, one little piece of information that was not on the spec sheet that may be of interest to you. Samsung's going to make the Fold 6 and the Flip 6 much, much slimmer and much, much lighter. I cannot wait for this. Having something, everything evolves, right? Some phones back in the day, you remember the big-ass Galaxy, what do they call it? I think the original Galaxy Note, or the original one, was huge, right? Had a 7-inch screen. Remember the Nexus tablet, Nexus 7? Had a 7-inch screen, right? Well, shoot, now some of our phones have a 7-inch screen, and it's much smaller. So everything evolves, right? But there's going to be a noticeable difference in the weight between these devices and last year's foldables. That's a little known fact that goes right over people's heads. It never gets talked about. The lighter, I think this is going to be a fantastic improvement for the usability of this device. I can tell a noticeable difference when using my S24 Ultra and my Nothing Phone 2A. This is all glass and metal. The 2A is plastic, right? But it's easier to use, right? It's just much easier to use because it's lighter. Now, going back to the Galaxies, these are also going to be thinner. Now, it's not going to be razor thin like the upcoming iPhone 17 Slim or whatever they're going to call it, which is going to be like an astonishing 4 millimeters thin. This is probably going to be around the lines of 6 millimeters thin, which is pretty freaking thin. Now, that's with them unfolded, right? When you fold it, you got to double it up. But expect a much thinner, a much lighter Galaxy Fold 6 and or Flip 6 this year. Again, subscribe to our channel. We're going to cover all this and the Unpacked event on July the 10th. Pixel news to all of our Pixel users out there. So, word came out with iOS 18 and all that cool stuff that they introduced or are going to introduce to the market. There was outcry online. Why can't Pixel do this? Why can't Pixel do that? Well, guess what? Guess what? Google and or the marketing department and or the PR department leaked out to a publication. Google's developing an artificial intelligence tool for custom emojis and stickers in the Pixel 9 series. So this includes the Pixel 9, Pixel 9 Pro, Pixel 9 Pro XL, and I'm assuming the Pixel Fold 2, whatever the hell they call it, right? So it looks like Google is working. Now, it will be a Pixel exclusive for a undisclosed amount of time before it gets introduced to all other Android devices, right? They're working on an equivalent to Apple's Genmoji, a generative AI feature in iOS 18 that lets you create custom emojis. Right, so there's code that was found in the upcoming or just released Android 15 Beta 3 that hints at a new creative assistant feature that may function similar to how Apple's Genmoji works. Right, it could debut with Pixel 9 series this fall. It probably will. Saying it could debut means it probably will. Right, they have to stay up to date with the latest trends and most popular features on these devices, right? If iPhone has something cool like create your own emojis with AI, you better have one on the way if you don't have one coming already. It's stuff like that persuades. It won't persuade a person like myself to get an iPhone just because they have custom AI. You can make custom AI emojis. That's probably for the younger crowd that can get swayed to one device over another because of that. But it is nice to have, say, well, we have that too. So if you saw that in the WWDC event that Apple had a couple weeks ago and you thought that was cool, well, Google's got one coming for you as well. If you have a Pixel. If you don't, you're going to have to wait a little longer. But again, that's one of the benefits of having a Pixel is that you get all of the Google-made features first, right? So, be on the lookout for that. Nothing. CMF. So, we got a launch date. So, the CMF is going to launch the Phone 1, their Phone 1, the Watch 2, and Buds Pro 2 on July 8th. So this will be July 8th. Samsung Unpacked will be July 10th. And we're going to cover everything. So the Phone 1 is set to have very similar specifications. Almost identical specs to the Nothing Phone 2 and or Nothing Phone 2A. Right? It's going to look considerably different. But it's going to have many of the same components that these devices do at a much cheaper price. I think this phone, brand new, is supposed to be like, I don't know, $250 brand new. Now, what we don't know is it going to be released in the US? Will they have a developer program if it's not to where we can still buy it? Don't know yet. But again, stay tuned to the channel because as soon as I get word, I'm going to let y'all know. I'm marking this. I'm like, you know what? I think that's too early. This is in the middle of the night. No? BST. Oh, that's British Standard Time, I think. Yeah, British Standard Time. 5 a.m. Eastern. That means it's 4 a.m. where I'm at. I'll either be awake or be asleep, right? But I'll bring you this to you no matter what. You're probably going to want to be interested in the Phone 1 from CMF because it's packing some really good specs for a very little price. But also, the Watch 2 is coming out, right? We got the CMF Watch 1 in-house, reviewed it, and gave it away. as a giveaway. Ran a contest for giveaway. And we also got the buds in-house. And guess what? I never got the review out because I lost them. So hopefully this time when they send me earbuds, I don't lose these. But we'll have to see if they send me anything. I don't know. But stay in tuned. Their earbuds, pretty good. Look, they're not the best quality, best performing earbuds, but they're inexpensive, right? You can get, and they're very stylish. So you can get earbuds that are, you know, they're okay, right? Again, they're not the very best, but they're not cheap by any means. So if you want decent spec earbuds, I think they're like $40, something like that. 40 or $50. The watch is like $75, $80, and the phone is going to be, I don't know, $250, something like that. So stay tuned. I'll bring you all the info and where you can purchase them if you're interested. What is this? All right, you heard it here first. And that's it. I believe that is all, folks. At least that's all I had for you today. So, appreciate you joining us for the eSIM Studios podcast live stream, episode 123. Please have a good rest of the day. Please be safe. And as always, I will see you tomorrow. Don't forget, hit up eSIMstudios.app. And you can catch us on any podcast platform, eSIM Studios. But go to eSIMstudios.app. I got all the news for you there. Peace out.